It's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. Today I thought I'm going to just come live. I know it's a bit of a sneak peek and nobody will be expecting me on here, but I thought I would just come on because I'm making some bath bombs. So I thought maybe you might want to come along and see what I'm doing. I'm actually going to be using a Cater mold today. So anyway, we're going to get going. I won't be able to see a lot of comments because the camera is going to be further down. So of course I have my gloves on, and before we start I do have everything else ready. So I thought I'll just go through what you need to actually make bath bombs, and I will give you guys the recipe as well. So to start bath bombs, of course we need the mixture. So this is my bicarbonate soda. In here we have 2 kilograms. And then we do have half a teaspoon of SLSA. You can totally leave SLSA out if you do not want it. Then secondly, we need our citric acid. So I've already weighed this, which is 1 kilo. So like I said, 2 kilos of bicarb, 1 kilo of citric acid is what we're going to use. Then we're going to be doing these purple ones. So we need this, which is water-soluble dye. For those of you that don't know, this is what you actually use to get the colour and make the water colourful in the bath. And we will actually put a product in it as well, so that it doesn't stick. It's not going to be a hassle in the bath. And then I always put a little bit of mica because water-soluble dyes lose their colour in time. Hi, Paula. How are you? I know it's a shock, love. I was just saying it is a bit of a shock. Hi, Leanne. How are you? So I thought I'm just going to do this because I have to make a lot of bath bombs for a wholesale client. So I thought let's get going and I'll show everyone how to do it. So now today we're also going to be using a different mold. So this is the mold I'm using, if you can see inside. This one here is a Cater mold. It's a little rose, and so it comes in your cylinder and then you pop it in here, and then the bottom piece is you know, that's going to create the rose, and then the top is just round. So hi Laurie, how are you, darling? Welcome. And of course we need our tablespoon because that is my main measurement as well. And now, so we need a spoon because obviously we need to tap at the edges of the mold as well. And then, of course, a spatula because we want to sort of turn it around as well. Oh, hi, Carly. I'm well, thank you. I'm very well. Very busy because a lot of you probably know because I did put my sale on this morning and my phone's been dinging all day. But basically what's happened is I've hired a graphic artist to redo my whole website to help me, which I've started changing things, as a lot of you probably will have noticed. So within another, I think it's going to take him about 7 weeks or so. And then the whole thing will be really professional, really easy to get to. And so yeah, so anyway, that's what I'm doing. And I do have a little secret that I will give away. I was thinking whether to do this or not, but I think, going to. Yes, hi Jess, you did catch me, darling, you did. So look, all of you know I'm not into Patreon because I want everything to be free. I want you guys to learn for free. But I've been asked so many times for a Patreon that isn't about recipes, but more about like sort of guiding people through business and what to actually do. So yeah, it is a bargain, Carly. You're right. It's less than half, 80% off, I think. Some of the products. I'm just getting rid of them so that I can fix my new site. So she's talking about the sale, everyone, that's on my site today. So check it out. There's soaps from like, I think $1.50 or something. But yeah, they're less than cost. So, but just so that we can move all of that out so the website's nice and clean for the graphic artist to make it easier. Because at the moment, I think I have about 200 products. So I have way too many at the moment. But yeah, so anyway, so I'm thinking of doing a Patreon, but only for business mentoring, because that takes me a lot of time to do all of that and talk about that. So anyway, I'm thinking about doing something like that. So anyway, you guys can tell me your thoughts. I'm not sold 100% on it, but I get so many questions about that. But you know, my normal YouTube here will be exactly the same. There'll be no changes, no fees, nothing like that. It'll all be free, all the recipes free. So anyway, the Patreon, like I said, will be more like I guess a business kind of mentoring and showing my journey and helping people. And it will also be a lot about the conference and you know how that can help. And we will actually have some videos in there of the conference that we're not going to be showing on the normal YouTube because people have already bought a ticket, so it wouldn't be fair. But yeah, but we can definitely show it on that because That way it won't be the whole conference, it will just be little snippets of the conference. So but anyway, like I said, a bit of a thought, but let's get into the bath bombs. So now we've shown this, and we also do need some, I'll show you some polysorbate 80. I get mine from N Essentials. We need some jojoba oil, and we also need apricot kernel oil because that's how I'm going to make it. And then we need some fragrance, and this is the one I'm going to use. The only reason I'm using this one is I've had it for a little while and I want to get rid of it. And a tiny bit of witch hazel as well. So in here, like I said, we do already have our bicarb. So I'm going to pop the camera down and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing because we need to mix up our colorants, pop it in that, and we'll go from there. So let me pop this down, and I won't be able to see the comments, I don't think, unless I'm super clever. But anyway, so as you can see, the bicarb's in here. We'll move that aside. So now we do have just a little tiny glass of water, or this is just a plastic shot glass actually. It's about a tablespoon of water in here. And now when you do these dyes, the one thing I want to tell everyone, it doesn't matter how much you use. Like you can use a teaspoon, you can use a big spoon, a half spoon. It doesn't matter. But, you know, the more you use, obviously, the brighter it's going to be. So they usually come with these like little tiny baby spoons, and do wear gloves because you'll get stuff everywhere. So this is the little spoon it comes with, which is less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. If you use this to do this sort of mixture of 2 kilo, you need to do at least 4 of these, I would think. But, you know, so we're going to just, you know, put a few of these in. So maybe we'll do about 4. And I'm running out of this colour. Maybe we'll do, hold on, we'll do a little bit more because it's quite a big mixture. And we want this one to be bright because it's lavender. So anyway, we've got that in there. So I'll move that aside and just mix it up. It's really easy, these ones as well. Oh, yeah, Laurie, that's right. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I think it's a good idea too, the online thing that we're talking about. Like I said, I was never going to do it because I don't want anyone to think I'm greedy or anything. But, you know, videos cost a lot of time and money, unfortunately. So, you know, and it will actually help me. Like, my idea of doing this, I thought maybe I can buy a better camera because I work off an iPhone because I can't afford a big camera. Because I know a lot of you think that I get, you know, heaps and heaps of orders, but sometimes I don't. There's, you know, honestly, there can be a week that I only get $90 or less. So, yeah, so don't think that, you know, everyone makes a million bits of money once they start. They don't. And, you know, YouTube is good because it definitely does give me some money back for the videos. But anyway, the mentoring, I'm hoping will help people. And, you know, like I said, I think it's going to be $10 a month. So I don't think that's too expensive. I think that's okay. But as I said, no one has to pay. You can have my normal channel, which is totally free. So the Patreon will only be just for mentoring and like business tips. So there'll be no like extra recipes or anything like that. They'll all be free on the site still. But anyway, so now we've got our liquid in here, and now we're just going to literally pour it straight in here. And what I do is if you tip it like this, and, you know, this is what I'm going to say. I always forget something. Let me get my little stick. Hold on. So I just use these popsicle kind of sticks, and then if you just go around the outside, because you want to get all of it out. And especially if you're doing stuff for shops, you want to know that it's going to be exactly the same every time. So if you measure up, say, 4 spoons, you want to get everything out so that you know. And the bicarb, you know, as we, well, you might not know, but it's actually good for cleaning fridges and things like that. So it will definitely get everything out. It will kind of suck up all the dye and stuff like that. And you can see it's pretty much all out. And now we're going to put this on the mixer. So I know that's going to be boring, and I'm sorry if it's a little boring to pop it on there. But I thought I'll show you exactly what I'm doing with everything. So I'm just going to pop it on this mixer. Let me just move this mixer in front. And I have been making other bath bombs, so it isn't perfectly beautiful, this mixer at the moment. So we'll turn this on. I'm sorry if it's going to be a little loud. And we want to mix this, honestly, for about, you know, a couple minutes. And then we're also going to add some mica in it, because remember how I said before that sometimes what actually happens is the dyes, they'll lose their colour in the sun. And if you're selling it to somebody that's putting it in a shop window, well, it will lose it, but the mica will help keep the colour, and then the inside of it will still have its, you know, beautiful texture. So you can see already that it's doing its little job. And so what I do is I keep turning it off and on, and just get your spatula and turn it, because the dye will get stuck to the side, and we definitely don't want it to get stuck to the side. So we'll just keep turning it. And then the good idea, once you know you've got this combined, then we're going to spray a bit of witch hazel, which will just combine it, and it will get rid of any of those little dye bits that sometimes stick on top of a bath bomb. So we're just going to keep mixing this. Now I'm going to spray it with my witch hazel, which is in here. We'll just give it maybe 4 or 5 sprays, because that kind of helps the colour to stick. So now our colour, and can you see how bright this colour has already got? And it's just going to get brighter as well. So that's the thing, you know. And do remember, once we add our citric acid, it's going to change our colours again. So, as I said, so we've given it a few sprays. I'm just going to give it a couple more on top. Remember, we do not add the citric acid, and this is why, because otherwise this would activate. So we will just give it a quick mix before we put anything else into this. So now, can everyone see how bright that is? Like, it is so bright. And this one I'm using is amethyst. It's called amethyst water-soluble dye from Sud Off in Australia. So now from here we need to put what is classified as a hardener inside Bathbomb. So I'm going to grab that. So this is the hardener I use. So it's just cream of tartar. I used to buy it, to be honest, in really big lots, but I can't get it in big lots anymore, so I'm spending a fortune at my local shop. But it doesn't work out that bad, really, because, you know, you got to use it. But anyway, so we're going to do 2 heaped tablespoons of cream of tartar. This will make your bath bomb super hard, and that's exactly what you want. And before you start, put your dehumidifier on, or check the temperature and the humidity. We've had storms in Melbourne, but today it's not stormy. So my fingers crossed that it's not going to be stormy today, because otherwise my bath bombs will be very sad. But I'm sure that they're going to be fine. So that's what I'm going to put in first. And now I'm going to just get the kaolin clay, because we also put kaolin clay in it. You can also put pink clay if you want. Sometimes I use pink clay because that feels beautiful as well. So this is how I get my kaolin clay, for anyone that wants to know. Let me just move this out the way. So it comes in a massive big bag, and I buy mine from Heirloom. I can't honestly remember how much this cost. And we're going to pop in 2 tablespoons of kaolin clay. Kaolin clay also helps to harden your bath bomb as well. Now, one thing I have to tell everybody, do remember I am actually using a Cater mold. Now, Cater molds need a different recipe than my normal ones, because they're made of a different material and it sticks. So this one has to be a bit wetter than normal. So that's why we're going to add a few different things in it. So let's just mix this around. Give it a quick mix, nothing exciting. So now you can see that. And I have had lots of people ask lately about them getting little tiny white dots on their bath bombs. If you get that, it means that you have not combined your bicarbonate soda and your clays well enough. That's what that means. So just mix it more. And you can see, as we're talking here, you know, like how much I've got to mix this. It's quite a lot. So anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to mix that again in a minute. But let's get on to the next bit. So we've got our cup, and we need to organize all of our oils. So for this particular one here, we are going to be adding in 1.5 tablespoons of polysorbate 80. And this is because we've put mica in it. Now, like I said, do remember when you've got mica, you need to add that, because otherwise the mica will stain the bath and stick on it. But even if I didn't use mica, I still use it just to be 100% sure of what I'm doing. So now this is our apricot kernel oil. So for this one, we're going to be adding in 4 tablespoons. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So like I said, we've got our 4 tablespoons of that in here. And do remember, this is because we are making a cater mold. So I'm just going to pour that in there. You can just pour it in. Don't stress about sticking it in, or, you know, you don't have to slowly put it in. You can just pour it in. And so now this is jojoba oil. I'm going to add 1. And the reason I add this is because it adds to a beautiful luxury bath bomb. If you can't afford this, or it's too much for you to spend, just add 1 more tablespoon of, you know, your normal oil, whatever oil you're going to use. And there are some oils that I suggest that you don't use. So don't use coconut oil, don't use sweet almond oil or olive oil. Usually those ones, you know, are the ones that are heavy, and then it sinks your bath bomb. Because I have lots of people asking me, well, why is it sinking? That's usually why, because the oils you're using are heavy. The same as shea butter sinks them and keeps it soft. It doesn't harden very well with shea. So now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of our fragrance oil. Do make sure you check on your fragrance oil that you can use it. This one I can definitely use it. So as you can see, everything is just poured inside, nothing exciting, if you can see that. And now we're going to turn this on, and we'll give it a mix. So I'm sorry that you have to hear this boring mixing bit, but we'll turn it on. But as you all know, we're lives, aren't we? So live means, you know, it means I can't fasten anything up either. And you should be able to see this colour really changing. So can you see how dark this colour has got now? And like I said, once again, stir it, and you will actually start to see that this is actually getting quite wet. And my normal mixture is the opposite. It's usually really dry. But as I said, if you don't do this, your cater molds will not work. And I know, because I've made so many that have been a total failure, and I've been like, why? Anyway, and then I just figured out after formulating a bit more that it's because of the mixture. So we'll keep mixing this a little bit. And don't be tempted to add too much witch hazel as well, because that can make them powdery. Alright, so we have got most of our things in here. So we'll go over what we've put in here. So it is 2 kilograms of bicarbonate soda, 1 kilogram of citric acid, which we haven't added yet, but we're going to add that in a minute. 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar to make it hard. 2 tablespoons of kaolin clay to make it hard. 4 tablespoons of your oil that you're going to mix. I suggest apricot kernel. 1 tablespoon of jojoba oil, or you can add your apricot kernel, just add an extra one. And 1.5 tablespoons of your polysorbate 80. And then 2 tablespoons of your fragrance oil. If you're not going to use fragrance oil and you're using essential oil, you'll need to add another tablespoon of oil on top of that, because obviously, you know, you're combining that. So when you're adding essential oils, it's best to pour all your oils and then put the mixture of essential oils into the oil, mix them together, and then pop it in here if you're going to go down that route. So now, like I said, we haven't added everything in. So now we are going to be adding in our citric acid, and this is 1 kilo of citric acid. I hear lots of people say, oh, that they slowly add it in. I don't. I literally just pour it all in, because it's going to mix itself. I mean, just mix it on slow to start with. And this cheap little mixer that I have, which is just from Kmart, our department store, is a good little mixer. Look, it's not as good as a KitchenAid, but it's fine to use for bath products. And lots of people ask me, can they use the one inside the house? No, you need to dedicate it to soap or bath bombs. Even though this is food grade, it will taint your food. So definitely don't do that. Make sure you're using the right one. So like I said, we're going to mix it all together, and then we are ready to mold them. So you don't need to worry too much about mixing it, because we're going to now put it into a hand one. And, you know, look, this is the thing, everybody, that I always say. People ask me all the time, how come your bath bombs are always good? It's because of the preparation. To be really honest, it is the preparation. If you don't do this, that's when your bath bomb just isn't going to be good. So now what I always do is just mix it all around to make sure you're definitely mixing absolutely everything. And I'm going to get a flat bowl so that we can pop it straight into a flat one. now I'm just going to pour all this in here, because you will see some little floury bits, and we want to mix these in again, because it's very hard to mix a big mixture like this. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can do this by hand. It just means it's going to take you a lot longer to mix it by hand and make sure everything's mixed. So now you can probably see how this is like, it's holding together. Everything's pretty good. And it is definitely thicker. But, you don't want it soaking wet, because that won't work. So now we definitely have all this. It's mixed. It's absolutely beautiful. And now we're going to start with the molds. So, as I said, Cater molds, I've definitely noticed are harder than other molds. They 100% are, I'm not going to lie. But I do love their patterns on them. So, as I said, this is the rose. Hopefully you can kind of see that indentation. So what I do is, with all of mine, I weigh them. So I'm just going to pop this on the scale. So this one actually weighs 51 grams just on its own, the mold. The colour is beautiful, Laurie, you're right, and it's one of my most popular ones. So what I do is just fill it up, and then we want to see, what this one's going to be, because we want it to be a certain measurement if you're selling it in a store. And that's fine. This one's 100, so we know that's okay. If you're going to do yours a bit more, you need to do more. But I know that I always do these for 100 grams. And so just pop on your top. Honestly, you can squish this by hand, but I don't. I do like to use my press as well, so I'm just going to grab that down. So this is just a hand press for anyone that doesn't know. It's from the Express Bathbomb company. They sell them, and I think in Australia the person that sells them is Bathbomb World. So Bathbomb World's definitely one. So now all we got to do is you literally have to push it back and forward to get it out. And Cater molds definitely get stuck more than the Express Bathbomb ones, because I'll give you an example too. These are like $30. The Express Bathbomb ones that I use, they're $100. So big difference in price. You get what you pay for, don't you? But these are still very good quality. So I don't want to say they're not. They're very good quality. I think it's a 3D mold. So just tap it. Never tap the top. Once you tap the top, you actually ruin the design. And, look, I'm going to tell you, even me, I have failures all the time. I mean, I'm not exempt from a failure. So, you don't have to apologise for being late. And then I've taken the top off. Can you see that little rose, how darling it looks? Like, it's really, really cute. And then what I actually do is I have all of these little bits, and I sit these ones in here. My normal molds actually don't fit in these. Yeah, it is gorgeous, isn't it? But usually I should have taken it the opposite way. And then, anyway, we're going to sit it in that, and then the bottom will stay beautiful. And I do have a massive big mold here, which I'll show you guys afterwards. And so then actually, let me show you. It's actually a cooking tray. So if you can see how big this is, it holds 50 bath bombs, I think. And I actually got that from my local department store. So that's where I got that one from. So like I said, put the rose in the bottom first. We're just going to add the next mixture. And, do remember this too with bath bombs. You need to actually work fast. The one thing that I do tell people is you've got to remember that the bath bomb mixture will dry. It really will. So just take a little bit off so that it's 100. And like I said, once again, you can do it by hand, but it will hurt your hand because you've got to press. But you know what? You could probably make one of these pressing machines at home if you're handy. Or someone handy, you can definitely do it. And, look, you can use, if you don't have the proper thing, you can even use the bottle. Just sit it on top, push it through, and then it comes out. But you just got to hold it together. Don't let it come apart. Otherwise, the rose won't work. And this is the satin ring. Remember, if you have a little ring on it, that becomes your satin ring. And I can't remember which bit was the top. Okay, that's the bottom. So this is how I usually do it. So, because I'm talking, I'm not concentrating. But usually I take it off. I put the top straight on it. And because that way it doesn't fail and you can't ruin it. And then just squeeze the sides a little bit. And once again, it's out. Yeah, I did make that colour. It's all it is the amethyst dye from Sud Off. So yeah, so that one, like I said, is definitely the Sud Off dye. For many of you that watch me, that's the one I really do like. So it's a water-soluble dye. So if you're in another country, you just need to be looking for water-soluble dyes. Don't use food colouring or anything like that if you're going to sell it. Because I don't actually think food colouring is approved. I might be wrong. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I don't know if it's actually approved for bath bomb making. And if you're selling it, you want to make sure. Sorry, whoever said that last comment, I didn't see it. If you want to pop it on again, I might be able to see it. But yeah, if you didn't see speckles, what does that mean? Oh, if you're getting speckles on your bath bomb, you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry, I didn't see the comment because the camera's kind of half down so that I can see. And then once again, that's it there. And the one thing too, if your bath bomb is looking grainy, it often is your citric acid, because I say this all the time and it is important. All citric acids are not the same. If you got spots on your bath bomb, what actually that means is that you have not ground down your citric acid enough, or the grade of it isn't as good quality as some. The one I use is much more expensive. I pay nearly $80 for a bag of my citric acid, so it's about $30 more than a lot on the market, but it's really, really smooth. It's ground right down. It's really, it's as smooth as anything, honestly. So I do suggest that you buy a better quality one if you're selling it as well. Yeah, so, and I'll actually show you, let me show you my other citric acid. Now, if you can see that is the citric acid I use. It actually looks like bicarbonate soda. It is ground down that much. And that is the one that I use from, where do I use it from? N Essentials. So I buy most of my things from N Essentials now, because after using many other companies, honestly, I've just found they're the best quality. I honestly have to tell you that the quality is second to none. I know it's expensive, but it's worth it. Oh, you won't sell them? Well, you can sell them, but, you know, you just got to make sure that you're using the right dyes. Even for yourself at home, I mean, you don't want to ruin your own bath. You know, like, you don't want to make them and the bath's all destroyed, because then you'd be devastated. So, oh, that's okay if you're late, honey. No worries. I wasn't actually planning on doing this, but I have to actually make some. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sweating that it's not, I'm worried about the weather in here, because it has had storms. So if this doesn't work, well, this will be sad. It will become, it's going to become a bit of powder in the bath, isn't it? So, because my humidity in here is much higher than I want it to be, but it's just the way it is, isn't it, at the moment? We'll see what happens. That's life. I don't stress about it too much, you know. And I'm not a sort of person that can sit inside and be bored. I'll be bored out of my head. So, but see, you can see that. And every now and then, can you see that little bit that's chipped off? I don't worry about that in a bath bomb. Like, I mean, honestly, don't get too picky. Food, yeah, it's not skin safe. I didn't think it was food grade, to be honest. I don't use it, but I've heard a few people talking about using, that's why I thought I would actually just put that in there, because, yeah, a few people on different forums that I've seen have been talking about using colorants. And that's the thing. It's such a world that a lot of us don't know. Like, you don't know what's right or wrong. And you just use it. And, you know, look, when I first started making products, you know, a number of years ago, I didn't realise what was right and what was wrong, and it was hard to find the information. So, you know, don't hate yourself if you've done something wrong. Just learn from it. Yeah, the rose will chip a little bit. You're right. It does a tiny bit every now and then. So that's why you've got to make your mixture wetter. If you make it wetter, it definitely doesn't chip as easy. And you just got to kind of, if you see this, I just kind of give the sides a little squeeze, and because you want it to drop out. And then that way it's more not going to chip. But if you don't use this mixture, this amount of liquid, it will chip. But, you know, and this one here too, being 100 grams, it's a really good size. So, you know, and as I said, in between each one, when I'm going off camera a tiny bit, I'm actually weighing these because I need these to be 100 grams because these are for a wholesale client. And so, you know, do make sure that they are right. You know, you can have a couple grams up or down. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. But, you know, you can't be giving someone 10 grams under. But in Australia, the law is they must get what they're paying for. You know, obviously there is, you know, like a small percentage. So anyway, we'll just take the top off this one. And here we go. Beautiful again. So yeah, so these ones are my lavender ones. And I don't do heaps of rose ones, but I've been asked a lot by stores at the moment. So obviously they're liking these, which is really good. Yeah, definitely try it wetter. This one here, my mixture here has about 2 more, I think, as well. So, you know, look, I've just, you know, honestly, I just sort of make it a little bit wetter because if you don't, it won't work as well. So, and if any of you haven't joined my social media, make sure you go over there and join me, and make sure you tell me you're from YouTube so I can join you back so that we can create this community, because the more people that are on either or all of our social medias, it does actually help the algorithm. So, you know, like to support more people in your industry. So, you know, obviously if it's your competition next door, you may not want to do that, but you know, I don't look at anything as competition. I just, you know, I just do my little thing. Anyway, I'm going to keep going making these. I'm sure you don't want to hear me ramble on all day, but I hope that you've got something out of today's little workshop, and I hope that it's kind of helped you a tiny bit, like I said, to do these things. So as I said, I'm thinking of just doing a Patreon, which is not for this channel. You don't have to pay. But it will be on this channel, but it's more like mentoring and things like that. And I'll do more workshops, like tutorials. Sorry, let me just put the camera up so I can read. So if you put your comments back, I can see it. Oh, your videos are helpful. Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't see a few of the questions and that. So if you have a question before I go, just make sure you pop it on so that I can see it, and because I'm always happy to answer. I did get a haircut. Well, it's tied back. I sort of got a bob because I got really sick of it, to be really honest. And oh, look, I might as well say I wasn't going to, but New Year's Eve I was very, very unwell, and ended up in hospital. So unfortunately now I've got to go through lots of cancer checks, because as you all know, my dad had cancer. So yeah, so I thought I need a new change, you know, to I mean, I'm sure I'll be fine, but I just, you know, sometimes a change is as good as a holiday, isn't it? So, you know, after all that, I thought, oh no, you know, but anyway, like I said, I'm sure I'll be fine. But, you know, I thought, oh well, I've got to just do my thing and, you know, make sure my business is exactly what I want it to be. Yeah, that's right. You can do things on YouTube, exactly. And you know what? It's good just to see something different. You know, my dad always said, you know, every day is a new learning day. You can learn something new. As he used to say, an old dog can learn new tricks, you know. So, very true. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, my dad passed away in early December, just before Christmas. So, he just got very sick and his body just had enough of this cancer, I think. So, which was very sad, but The only good thing is now he's not suffering. So, but my daughters did get me a beautiful picture of me and my dad made that was like, they get an old picture and then what they do is they digitalize it, which it makes it look beautiful. So I was really happy with that. But yeah, but anyway, as you know, Dad was on the videos sometimes, but unfortunately no longer here. So it's just me keeping on my Nelson name now. But I can show everybody some new things all the time. So this is a happy channel, not a sad channel. So, you know, and hopefully, like I said, I can show all of you a little bit about business and, yeah. So anyway, and I feel bad because I always said I'm not going to do a Patreon, and I'm not. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and so I just want everyone to know I'm not doing a Patreon like other people do where you get charged for a recipe. All my recipes are 100% free, but I'm just going to do it more, like I said, more mentoring and because that's something I've been asked for quite a lot actually, and I never thought of myself as mentoring as either. I thought, God, who wants to listen to me? But seems that you all do. So anyway, like I said, so that's kind of why I'm going down that avenue. Oh, you're gorgeous. So yeah, but you know, and my thing is, look, let's talk about this before I go, everybody. YouTube is amazing. It's free. You know, social media, Instagram, all of those. Go and do a video on Instagram, everyone, a reel. That's what gets you going. That's what gets your business going as well. I'm using a hand press, lovely. This is the hand press I'm using from the Express Bathbomb company. I think it's about $200 US, roughly. Yeah, that's right. And so that's where anyway, that's what I'm sort of thinking about. What was I talking about? See, this, you know, you're going to laugh. I mean, you know, my mind's always not here. I mean, you just got to laugh, don't you? I mean, life is a bit fun, but, you know, don't be too serious, everybody. But yeah, anyway, like I said, we're doing the bath bombs, but yeah, if anybody is interested in, like I said, looking at my Patreon or anything like that, please go over to that. I haven't set it up. Like, honestly, I haven't set it up because I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. I couldn't decide. But I thought, you know, like I said, do remember everything on here is totally free. So all the recipes are free. Nothing will change. My channel will be exactly the same. It will just be anyone else that kind of wants business tips, and once a week I will do a video that will just be for that channel, and it's more going to be just making stuff, you know. Making a Patreon page. Yeah, I haven't done any of it yet, but it's not for this. Yeah, this is what I was saying. I was going to say something about YouTube, wasn't? Oh, yeah, that's right. Make sure, everybody, that you look into joining, like doing something, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, or whatever. Do videos. People love seeing videos. TikTok. Honestly, I can't remember on my TikTok, but I have like close to, I think, 6,500 followers. And I get orders through TikTok people. So, you know, don't think that, because when we first started this, I said, I'm too old to do TikTok. Who's going to watch me? You'll be amazed. I have a video on TikTok that has had over 100 and I think 120,000 views. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, because YouTube's free. TikTok's free. Instagram's free. So, like, I get it. Not everyone wants to do, you know, you don't all want to come on here because it's, you know, it's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's really hard, YouTube, and you've got to kind of get it. But Instagram is so easy, you know, really, really easy. So, yeah, wow, it is exactly wow. When I had 120,000 views on one video, I was shocked. You know, absolutely shocked. And I often get videos that have 10,000 views, 20,000 views. So, and that was on TikTok. And like I said, and then from there, people actually go to my site, but they would never have found me without any of that. So it's really important, you know, that you all kind of just keep pushing, guys. You know, don't feel scared to push. But anyway, I will get going, and you'll see my Patreon soon whenever I get 5 seconds to do it, because I am minding my beautiful grandbabies tonight while my oldest daughter goes out for dinner with her husband. So, But anyway, I will see you on the next video. I will be here tomorrow on Sunday for our normal Sunday chat. This was just an extra video, so hopefully it's helped people make some bath bombs. So get going, everyone. Make them and have some fun. And make sure you're kind to someone today because, you know, that's what life's about, being nice and kind, isn't it? Anyway, see you next time. Bye.